Hey guys, it's Charles from Tech Always, and today I'm going to be reviewing the NZXT S340 Elite mid-tower case. So let's get right into it. I'm going to start this review off by looking at the extremely minimalist exterior of the case. The front panel is completely bare except for a small gray NZXT logo at the bottom, which I'm not bothered by. Moving to the right side panel, this one is also completely bare with no text or marking on it at all. Going to the top of the case, you'll find a 120 or 140mm fan mount, along with the front I/O, which is fairly expansive, with an illuminated power button, which is a little wiggly and feels kind of cheap, but still has a nice click to it when actually clicked. Next to that, you have two USB 2.0 ports, along with the VR section of the I/O, which has two USB 3.0 ports and an HDMI pass-through. Finishing off the I/O, you have your mic and headphone jacks. Looking near the I/O, you can see the fairly wide spacing at the top and bottom for your intake fans, which has a long magnetic dust filter which can be accessed without taking off the front panel and is very easy to put back. Now looking at the back of the case, you can see it's 7 expansion slots, all held down with thumb screws, which out of the box were way too tight to be unscrewed with just your fingers, which does kind of take away the point of having thumb screws. Besides that, this back is very standard with an 120mm fan mount and a power supply at the bottom that has a nice removable dust filter on rails, unlike the dust filter that came with the original S340. Also on the bottom, you have 4 large feet with rubber on them, which leaves lots of room for your power supply to intake air from the bottom of the case. Now getting to one of the biggest changes from the original S340, the massive tempered glass side panel on the right side. This panel is held on by 4 rubber-lined thumb screws. Being tempered glass, this panel is extremely hard to scratch, unlike cheap acrylic used in most case windows. I really love the extremely minimalistic design of this case, and its great build quality with solid metal on all of the exterior. I also like how they stuck with more white than on the original S340, which had white side panels but the top and inside the case were still black. Now I'm going to take a look at the interior of the case and the build process. Like any build, I start off by taking the side panels, and I was extremely impressed by how sturdy the right side panel was, and it would barely flex or bend at all. The front panel was a little harder to get off than I would have liked, and almost feels like you're going to break it as you remove it, or it's not supposed to come off. As soon as I opened the case, 2 things jumped out at me: the very nice power supply shroud and the cable management bar. The power supply shroud has been adopted by a lot of cases and manufacturers over the past few years, and in my opinion it makes a build look so much cleaner. This shroud is better than most as it provides extra functionality with 3 2.5-inch drive mounts, 2 on the top of the shroud and 1 on the side. Next to all the drive mounts, you can find cable cutouts for front panel connectors along with your SATA cables for the drives, so they don't need to be routed along the shroud. These trays are very easy to use with 4 screws to screw down your drive and 1 thumb screw to hold the tray in place. You'll also find a cutout for your PCIe power cables on the shroud if you want these to come from the bottom of your case instead of from the side. Sadly, the shroud goes all the way up to the front of the case, limiting you to a 280mm radiator, unlike some cases by Corsair that cut the shroud off early to allow for longer radiators. The most unique part of this case, which I have touched on a few times already, is the cable management bar. While most cases opt for a variety of holes and grommets for you to route your cables through, this case uses a bar that can be used to hide the cables. While this can help make your build cleaner, it very much favors right-angled connectors on your motherboard, as connectors that stick up, especially ones that don't bend well, such as USB 3.0 headers, struggle to fit with the height constraint of the bar, and can lead to a hard time plugging in connectors or even broken headers on your motherboard if you try and force them in too far. The bar also has a sled on it that can be used to mount a reservoir for a custom liquid cooling loop. This case is not very well suited for liquid cooling, as the only place you can mount radiators is in the front and is limited to either push or pull. No push-pull configurations because of the clearance of the cable management bar. In terms of fans, this case is fairly versatile, fitting up to 2 120 or 140mm fans in the front, a 120 or 140mm fan in the top, and with an included 120mm fan, and a 120mm fan in the back that is also included in the case. These options should give you plenty of airflow for high-end components. Coming around to the other side of the case, you can see the ample cable management space along with a massive cutout to allow for easy CPU cooler installation. Under the power supply shroud, you can find 3 3.5-inch drive bays, which can allow you to fit 3 drives, but it's pretty inconvenient to use as you need to screw your drives in both the front of the case and the inside. Because of the nature of the power supply shroud, you have probably stuffed all your cables in there. These will get in the way of your screwdriver when installing a drive, so I'd recommend installing your drives before the power supply. When you're installing that power supply, you need a screw bracket on the power supply, which is then screwed into the case, which adds an extra and unnecessary step to the build. On the back side of the motherboard tray, you may have noticed these little black cable clips. These do feel a little weak and sometimes struggle to clip in place when they are filled with cables, but they make cable management so easy. If you look carefully, you'll notice I didn't use any zip ties in this build, and I only used the cable clips, if that helps you understand how easy these can make the build. This case also comes with a little magnetic cable management puck. This is a little rubber magnetic puck that can be attached anywhere in your case to hang your headphones or a VR headset. It can also be separated in half if your cable is too long and you need to wrap it around even more. This is a helpful feature to have if you don't have very much space on your desk for your headphones. Overall, I really love this case as it fits my needs really well. I wanted to keep my black and white theme, but accent the white more than I previously could, and this case really did that with its almost full white design, from all the side panels to the top and even the motherboard tray. This was one of my issues with the original S340, as the top and motherboard tray weren't white. So while this case is marketed at VR users, I think that it's perfect for any PC builder who wants a clean aesthetic and a super simple build, and I would definitely recommend it. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. If you want notifications whenever I upload a video, be sure to click the little bell next to the subscribe button. But if you didn't like the video, be sure to leave a comment down below as to why, and I'll try and fix it for the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.